Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. A lot of them. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 1, The Red Woman. I'm your host Mike, and joining me is John.
Hello.
Hello.
Glad to be back for this show.
Yeah, we were just talking about, in pre-show, setting up for this, how it kind of snuck up on both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Wasn't ready either. Excited.
When it started happening, I was like, I'm ready. So
let's jump right into it. We pick up literally minutes from where we left off last season. John's body is lying in the snow, still probably bleeding. His assassins just left him there to die, to rot, freeze over, however, until they figured out what to do with him. Davos hears Ghost howling, comes out, and finds the body.
Yeah.
Which I am really sad for Ghost right now.
Oh, God, I know. Oh, that poor thing.
Trying to go through. No, Bran and Rick and Direwolves are still alive. I was thinking to myself, is he the last one? Are they all dead?
Yeah, no, we got 3 left.
We still got 3 left, okay.
Running low on Starks, but...
Yeah.
We're almost fresh out, but, other than that, we're good.
No, we're good. There's still 5 of them. 4 of them. 4 of them. Yeah, their numbers are reduced. Anyway, Davos gets the body in, gets, people who are still somewhat loyal to Jon. Take him in there, guard him. Everybody knows Sir Alistair Thorne was the mastermind behind Jon's assassination. Like, guy even admits it in front of the whole Night's Watch.
Yeah, and he's like, I've broken no rules, I followed his every order. I'm like, there's probably a rule against stabbing your leader in the stomach. I'm going to go ahead and say.
I have broken no rules. I have followed every order to the letter. You stabbed him in the gut.
Where is the scribe in the corner? Like, there's a rule against stabbing someone.
Maester Aemon's dead.
Or
not even there. But
and Jontron's missing.
Right, exactly.
He's taking Gilly.
Yeah.
Gully.
We didn't even see them this episode.
No Sam.
They've gotten to the point there's so many characters doing so many different things they can't show it all in one episode.
I feel like it was like that for a little while in the last season, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. Yeah, pretty much the same. But yeah, had he been there, he would have probably stood up and been like, kinda is a rule against stabbing the Lord Commander.
I'd imagine.
Go over so well.
God, I was really hoping for an uprising, and then we just stab him. I don't know.
Well, he's got most of the watch on his side, which doesn't number a lot of people.
Yes, yeah.
Like, 100 maybe? A couple hundred? If that? Not even?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess he's... he got what he wanted. He's got all the power now.
He's got all the power. He's boss, except Ed escaped, to ride south and gather up the few thousand wildlings who actually owe their lives to Jon. Who are probably going to come kick that gate down and murder every single one of them.
Which is crazy. I'm like... Because I was like, who the fuck is he talking about? I was like, oh shit, the wildlings.
Like, oh shit, there's a lot of them. Most of them are very angry people.
I have to say, Sir Davos is handling himself like quite the gentleman. He's just like, I'll need mutton.
I need food. Like, I'm a shit hunter. If I want to ride... Yeah, it's like, if I want to ride south without, dying or starving to death, I'm going to need some food, please. You'll have food. Well, and you could take the Red Lady with you. And it's like, yeah, you're not giving this man food.
Yeah.
I think that was the exact point when Davos was like, winter is coming. You have, your food stores are probably low already. And you're just going to give some guy a whole bunch of it to ride south with? No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No.
And he was just like, I'll consider your offer. Thank you.
It's like, we'll talk it amongst ourselves and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, and it was really funny because like, he was being very polite. You can't even be like, you son of a. It's like, yeah, all right.
Like, shit, I can't even get mad at this man.
Yeah, it's like, all right, Alistair. It's just like.
It's like, I'm going to walk down the stairs and come back at sunset and kill you all.
We'll talk, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk. And, they let Melisandre in before, well, right, I think it was after Ed left to go south.
Yeah.
And she's pretty much done.
I got that vibe. She's like, I saw his fate in the flames. It was not, basically I saw great things from him. And...
Like, I saw him fighting in combat at Winterfell in the fire. And he's like, I believe in the fire. It's predicted the future. I've seen most of this stuff happen. And now everything she's seen predicted in the fire is kind of fallen apart.
Yeah.
Stannis is dead. His army is destroyed. Jon is dead. All of these future predictions of heroic deeds and stuff like that just
gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, she's questioning her faith. And I, now I think I, as a viewer, I'm like, what the hell? Like, is she like just a raving lunatic, or is she just not seeing the right future? Or is she just not like, or is she just like interpreting it wrong?
I don't know. There've been so many theories I've read or just things I've thought about with her. This is, from watching the show, reading the books, all that stuff. Like, she's worshiping a false god or something like that. Like, she's worshiping the wrong one. Because her whole religion is built upon, the tenets
one of the old.
Yeah, the Lord of Light. He is the one true, like, kind of like Catholic faith.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one. And then there's the great enemy, the many-faced god, who coincidentally is the one Arya is trying to work for.
Right. Funny enough.
Yeah, funny enough. But the thing you get when, the books give you different characters who encounter other red priests or red priestesses, Melisandre's an oddball as far as their faith is concerned. Like, she just acts very differently.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen in the show, at least, there was a red priest in Marine that we saw. Not to jump around too much, but like, he was pretty fanatical, like, but rallying courage. Like, aren't you going to rally around your leader who is like she controls the fire, dragons, and blah blah blah. Which I'm like, neat, cool. But Melisandre's you're right. She's different. She's like she's not as preachy, and she's not necessarily trying to rally groups behind her cause. She just like seeks power. For the most part.
Right. I mean, the thing I got is all of the red priests and priestesses think that Dany is like the reincarnation of their savior or whatever.
Right.
Like, she's the one who's going to lead them against the great evil, the great whatever the hell. Mm-hmm. Melisandre's like, nah, totally Stannis. Like, totally him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let's move away from there. The last we saw of Theon and Sansa last season, Theon had recently thrown Ramsay's crazy girlfriend off a wall, and then they jumped off the wall together.
Mm-hmm.
Which, first off, Winterfell has really high walls.
Yes.
Congratulations on surviving the fall, even with the snow.
Yeah,
but surviving the fall uninjured, without, even with the snow.
I mean, they were stumbling, clearly, but, they were not severely injured at all.
No. They were also, running through the woods, trying to stay ahead of the hounds, in the cold, and then through the water.
Which is such a bad idea.
Yeah, well, as Theon said, we gotta throw the hounds off.
I'm sitting here like, hey, Dickless, you know how to make a fire? Like, can you be useful?
This is the one case where the insult, hey, Dickless, actually is truth in advertising.
That's what I was calling the whole episode.
Or, Hey, Dickless, have you ever watched Mythbusters? They told you got to go in the water and walk upstream, and even that won't throw off a bloodhound.
No, it won't.
So, good idea. You failed. And then trying to throw them off her trail. Good try.
Decent effort. You fucked up.
Decent effort. Bloodhounds are still better than you're lying, than you're fibbing.
Yeah.
And then, there's little old Sansa just cowering in a fallen tree. And I'm just going through my head like, okay, what the hell? The Great Escape. How far did you get? You got like a couple of miles, maybe?
How do we get out of this?
Like, how do we get out of this? And then suddenly there's the sounds of horses in the distance. I'm like, oh, good, a rescue party. Who's coming down? Oh, God, it's Brienne.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's hope.
Mm-hmm.
Man, her and Pod kicked ass.
I'm so proud of Pod.
Really, he got good.
He got better. Holds off one guy.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, exactly. He's been playing Dark Souls. Holds off one mounted combatant, brings him off his horse and impales him. Holds off another combatant. While Brienne just kicks the shit out of everybody else.
Yeah.
Ish.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
hey, she got
Theon got in there.
Theon got in there. He ran a guy through.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Brienne finally got her wish. She found and rescued one of the Stark daughters.
Finally.
Mm-hmm. Finally.
Like, it's just like, oh, something good's happening to Sansa.
Mm-hmm.
Let us cherish this moment.
It's like laser sword at her feet, like, I offer again my services. Like, being very humble and not saying, bitch, I told you so, you should have accepted the first time.
Yeah.
But that's a thing now.
And I half expected a fucking crossbow bolt to just fly through Brienne's head while she was kneeling down. I was like, come on, ruin the moment. You have to. It's a Stark. I was like, yay, everything's okay.
I don't know where we're going anymore. Watching this show, I had read all the books that were out up until, so watching these seasons, I kind of knew what was happening. I'm like, and like cringing when I knew it was coming. And then, yeah.
So what's it like for you not knowing? I'm just curious.
It's horrifying right now. I don't know, because I'm sitting there with the genuine I now understand the genuine fear that every other viewer feels for the main characters.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like, okay, let's move on over to Dorne. I had no idea. Like,
God, Dorne. Oh.
Just, hey, congratulations, Prince Doran, you're up and walking. Ish.
For a minute.
For a minute. Talking this all, I'm like, you obviously have not found out that Myrcella's dead.
No, clearly you have not, sir.
You've clearly not found out that she's dead. Otherwise, you would not be letting your sister's, your brother's lady friend, sister, the hell, your brother's lady friend help you walk around. Like, none of that.
Wouldn't be no buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very good misdirection, I think, because I was like, oh, they're going to nail her. Like, servant came up, he has a note, I'm like, oh, she's fucked. And then he's fucked.
Bodyguard in the back, him in the chest. It's like,
I mean, that was rough.
Now, let's deconstruct that a little bit. Prince Doran, as he said, I was jealous of Oberon. He traveled the world. He was an adventurer. But, Ilaria made another good point. You would have been a shit adventurer. And Oberon would have been a really shitty leader.
Yeah.
Like, he spent the better part of his life, Doran, trying to keep his people alive and well-fed and healthy and happy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, everybody in Dorne seemed healthy and well-fed and, I guess, happy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's pissed his sister got, turned into the mountain's plaything for a while. This is way back.
Yeah.
But, and probably, also equally pissed that Oberon got his head crushed in by the guy who turned his sister into his plaything. But he also, I think, really didn't want to commit the resources and have thousands of his countrymen die by starting a war.
Because it
Which,
was stupid.
right.
And like I don't. It's very frustrating to keep up with this narrative that they have that you know he was murdered brutally by the mountain. It's like you do realize he challenged him to the fight.
Like, it was legal.
You do realize that he died in a completely okay
Legal.
manner.
As far as the law is concerned, he died in a completely 100% sanctioned trial by combat.
That was not a war crime.
No, exactly.
And I'm like, why does this whole island not fucking see that?
It's not even an island.
Well,
It's the southern tip of the
the
continent, but
southern tip
same.
of the continent. What?
Does the
Why
desert...
do they not get it?
I'm guessing the desert bakes their brains a little bit.
But like Dorn was the only one who got it. It was like, how the fuck? Like he even said, I think last season, like he made his choice. Like, fucking leave it alone.
It's like,
He's
yeah,
dead.
it's my brother. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, I'm upset. I'm grieving. Except it was legal. He made his choice. What would you like me to do about
He
that?
did not have to fight the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to do it.
Now, the other part with, his sister Elia, how many years before,
Mm.
he could have done something about that. But at the time, if he would have rebelled at that time, he would have had the combined might of the other 6 kingdoms of Westeros that would have just hammer smashed him and his country into oblivion.
Yeah, like it would have been a very short-sighted move, and
Like, as far as I don't know how they're doing it with the show. As far as I know, Dorne could probably challenge the Lannister army. Maybe.
okay.
Might lose. Might win. Might be as high. Who knows? But they could definitely, make them worry and be like, shit, they're coming up from the south. Recall the troops and all that shit.
Yeah.
However, when everybody was united, they just had, Robert's Rebellion was in full swing. Everybody was like big, crazy armies running around. There would have been no. Wouldn't have happened.
No, yeah. I don't know. It's
She has single-handedly fucked her country over.
there's no one left on that in that area that I like now. So
There's no one left. There's no one left in that family with brains.
no.
And Prince Doran's son Trystane is now also dead.
Yeah, that was a dick move.
Well, it's like, who would you like to kill us, me or her? Her. Smart boy. And as soon as he draws his sword, I'm like, don't turn your back on her. You have 2 women in the room who want to kill you, heavily armed. You do not turn your back to either of them, even though one of them said it's going to be a fair one-on-one fight.
Yeah, you still don't turn your back to an opponent.
You maybe had a quarter of a second of consciousness as the halberd went through the back of your skull to realize your mistake.
Yeah. Whoops.
Whoopsie. So yeah, that's a whole bunch of fuckery in the South. All started because Marcella died, which is not going over well with Cersei and Jaime.
She's not as mad as I thought she'd be at him. Or she's not really mad at him at all.
She's not mad at him, probably because she realized it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
Like, there was really nothing he could have done to stop that.
No.
Nor did he really see it coming.
No.
She's just at the point, like, her, the prophecy that witch gave me when I was younger. It's all coming true. I shouldn't be surprised. It's happening. She said it would happen. Should have been ready for it.
And Jamie's like, fuck the world, fuck everything,
It's like, my husband's dead. I hated him, but he's dead. My firstborn son, dead. Father, dead. Now, daughter, dead. It's like, all I got left is you and our youngest son.
Shit,
who
Lord
is
Tommen.
now the king.
Right.
Which makes him a just paints a huge target on his back that could be seen from thousands of miles away.
A king who doesn't even control his own city.
That too. A king who has no idea what he's doing.
No, I mean, he's got this. I mean, she's got the mountain, the modified mountain in her corner.
The modified mountain.
You know, we haven't seen him in action yet.
No. That's gonna be terrifying.
I can't wait for that guy to just start knocking heads.
I want to know what's under Okay, a couple of things here. First, I want to know what's under that helmet. Like, are we talking full on zombie? Are we talking a controlled, like, did that half maester guy figure out how, like, the the White Walkers reanimate bodies or something, and
Mm,
kind of do some form of that?
like necromancy of some kind.
Yeah, like, what is this thing? Full on zombie?
And is he more powerful now? Because that appears to be the implication that he's somehow more powerful in some way.
The 7 foot tall world's strongest man. Yeah, now a more powerful rage zombie. That's all we need.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
In shiny gold armor.
it's going to be beautiful
That was
when
my
he starts.
first question. My second question is does nobody realize who's in that armor?
Oh, she knows.
Oh, obviously she knows, but does
Obviously.
nobody else have a brain in the Red Keep? She
I'd imagine
knows.
they'd have to.
She knows, and the Maester. Like, but everybody's too scared to say anything.
Right, because, like, who the fuck else is that big
Right. Exactly. It's like
that we know of?
you find the world's tallest man. He's 8 foot 11 inches. He dies. Suddenly, there's a guy in a mask and a suit of armor who just happens to be the same height as the world's
Same
tallest
height and
man.
build. Like, they're probably putting two and two together, but, you know, I'm sure it's like a whispered thing and no one's going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Plus, you'd have to jump the guy with an army of 100 men and expect to lose half of them. Like, to have taken him out when he was alive.
Right. I mean, God knows now he has, like, earthquake magic.
God knows, or you probably can't kill him now.
Yeah.
You sever the head, he'll still bite you.
Yeah. Let's just put it back on.
Oh, boy. I'm trying to think, did we miss anything on this continent? A lot happened. Like, a lot happened, but a lot didn't happen. It was more like, and this is us continuing from last season and setting up this season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I mean, nothing. I mean, really, I guess the whole thing with Marjorie.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
You
her.
know, she was like, wait, like she just wants to know how her brother's doing, Boris.
Like, how's my brother in all this? How's he doing?
I get the feeling he's probably dead, or worse.
I'm getting the feeling. Obviously, they're purposely not telling her because they want to torture her. Like,
Yeah, I mean, they're playing good cop, bad cop with her already. To try to get her to go to bed. Which really, it's like such. You lied. Oh.
it's like confess. It's like I have nothing to confess to. Oh, so you're a perfect you know, a perfect person free of sin and just
Are
giving
you?
off radiating holy light? Like, nobody is.
Are you?
Yeah.
Because
Well, she made a perfect point. Like, no one is. Well, congratulations. You have made the first step in the long road to recovery. This is
yeah.
the 12-step program.
Oh,
Step
God,
one. Step one is admitting you're not perfect.
I just need someone to start telling these religious fanatics to go fuck themselves in a very serious way.
Well, when we cover what's going to happen, the synopsis for next episode, if you watch the
Yeah.
promo, Jamie pulls out a dagger in the middle of, the church in front of the High Septon guy there. So,
Yeah.
or the High Inquisitor, whatever the fuck he is.
Tells
High
everybody to go
Sparrow,
fuck
that's his name.
themselves.
Forgot his name. We got a question in chat. Darius Mina asks, "How will Cersei react to the loss of her last? How will she react to the loss of her last child, aka Tommen?"
Well,
I,
not well.
not well, definitely. She has Jamie left and she has Tommen left. She's gonna react to losing either of them very badly, but I think I'd have to say if she loses both, that's when she's gonna just totally.
But I think if she loses Tommen, I think that would definitely send her like into like a murderous rampage. Like that's gonna be it. Like, cause I mean, really, at that point, she will kind of feel like she has nothing left to lose, so she's just gonna go fucking ape shit.
So we're gonna take all of this pent up rage. We're gonna take up all this pent up sadness and emotion and turn it into a murderous rage.
Just a ball of anger.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's the only way I could see it going because she's sad with Marcella dying obviously because that's her little girl, but you take her last son away from her, and she's
Mm-hmm.
just going to throw her hands up there and say, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah. It's like, where did she come from? Not from me, because I'm a bitch. No.
Yeah.
The short version
Very
of her
sad.
little convo there. So that's going to suck.
Yeah.
I think we can move east. We can move east.
Yes.
We can move
Yes. Let's
east.
do that.
All right. On to Bravos, where Arya is blind and panhandling,
Mm.
begging for money in the streets. And the other girl, whose name I don't know, probably because she doesn't have a name,
I don't think she has a name.
and because she has successfully become no one,
Yes.
or is close to it, comes along and decides, I'm going to beat the shit out of the blind girl.
With a
Which is
stick.
which is obviously a very harsh training exercise of some kind.
Right. Obviously.
Probably,
But still a dick move.
still a dick move, but I mean, if you could fight blind, you can then fight in pitch blackness, probably.
Right. And maybe that's just part of her training.
Yeah, like to be able to fight in complete darkness.
Yeah.
And what better way to do that than to blind you?
And, also the teacher's going to stop using her powers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like, she said, I'll be back tomorrow. So, like, get fucking ready because it's
Keep the stick.
kick your ass every day.
Yeah. Gotta kick your ass every day until you can defend yourself.
I can't wait till she turns into Daredevil and she's just like the most efficient stick fighting machine.
Brutal, crazy assassin Arya.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how that's going to go. She is either going to be successfully become an assassin, or she's just going to use them until she gets what she wants. Which is probably not going to end well for her.
Which, like, what is her end goal with them anyway? Like, what could she want? To go kill Cersei?
She has her list of names that has ever been shrinking.
Without her knowing it.
I forget.
Sometimes.
I forget what the full list used to be, but I know Joffrey was on there, Cersei was on there, Meryn Trant was on there, the Hound was on there for a while. She is down to Cersei and crickets.
That might be it.
I forget. I honestly forget who else was on that list, but I believe that every single one of them is dead.
Yeah, I mean, if she truly gives herself over to the faceless ones, I don't. Or the many-faced god. I don't see her. She can't hold on to that. I mean, that's the point. So maybe, but honestly, by that point, you might be right. They might all be. Cersei might just be dead anyway. She might not have a list. But
yeah, by the time she becomes able to get her revenge, well, that's the other thing. She wants to be able to exact her revenge, but they're not gonna let her.
No, not at all.
The whole reason she's blind is because she went and killed someone who wasn't sanctioned.
Yeah. They're contract killers.
Mm-hmm. Very odd contract killers, but contract killers nonetheless.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to Tyrion.
Ah, yes.
Tyrion and Varys, my favorite odd couple. Like their interactions were my favorite part of most seasons of this show.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like both the two wittiest people in the world, just constantly doing combat with each other. Verbal combat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see them together. Strolling through
Marine. Having to govern a city that was left in utter shambles. Because I guess you could say the rogue element, who are, the leftover slavers or, their enforcers, whatever, decide, we're going to assassinate the queen. We failed. Her dragon came in, burned most of us, and she flew off on his back.
And the boys figure we can't rule from the top of a pyramid, as Tyrion so aptly put it. We have to kind of see what's going on in the streets. So,
yeah,
good idea. Get a feel for the town.
Yeah, get a feel for what's going on, and then decide on your first course of action.
Yeah.
Which is going to be an interesting one, considering the Sons of the Harpy are everywhere. You see the Unsullied at the one point running around trying to keep the peace when all the ships are burning.
Yep, that happened.
All your ships and the docks are now on fire. Um, you have the Sons of the Harpy running around killing people. You have the Unsullied trying to combat that and keep the peace. You got the Red Priest and probably others, because, that is a major world religion in the Game of Thrones universe. They're calling for, what are you going to do? Wait for her to come back, or are you going to do something about this? Like, you going to sit around and be bitches, or can you, defend yourselves and shit
Defend
like that?
yourselves for once.
And
Yes.
let's, go to the part that I think Tyrion might have forgotten about, that there are two large and really pissed off dragons locked in a pyramid somewhere.
Thank you.
Which is what I thought happened when the ships were on fire. I thought one of them got out.
That's what I thought too at first. And I was like, it seems a little
It's like
too convenient.
I saw it's in the promo for next week, and it was in one of the seasons promos about a month ago. He's walking in a dark area with a torch, and suddenly it's like, oh shit, there's a dragon in front of me.
Yeah.
And Tyrion is bite-sized for a dragon.
They are pissed.
Of course they're pissed. Mommy locked us in a freaking tomb. Like, in the dark. Chained up.
They're simple creatures. They're not exactly smart, right? Well, I mean, do we know if they get smart when they get older, or are they basically just like idiot lizards?
What we get, what you can piece together is that they're extremely loyal and obedient to one person.
Okay.
Like, if you read through, like, this is all like history accounts from the books and stuff, like characters talking about, Aegon the Conqueror and stuff like that. He was the only one who could ride the big black dragon, Balerion the Dread. He was the only one who can ride it. He was the only one that dragon listened to. Nobody else could really get near it unless they were throwing it food. And even that was dangerous.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this dragon was also fucking huge.
Yeah.
But
either way, they're not going to get much smarter.
For what I gather, they are fairly intelligent. They're just dicks.
Right. Yeah. I guess they're very self-serving.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's really what it comes down to. But I don't know. I mean,
they're pretty much the top of any food chain anywhere.
Yeah, I guess
unless there's exists some other mystical creature that can, out dangerous a dragon. I don't even know what words to use here.
I don't think anything.
All right, nothing that we know of. So
a lot of spears.
Mm-hmm. They're the top of every single food chain. They don't care.
No, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be oh boy.
On to Jorah and Dario, the next odd couple. Marching through
the guy who wants to bang Daenerys and the guy who bangs Daenerys.
That's perfect.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. The handsome, dashing, rogue-like mercenary, and the probably once handsome, possibly once dashing, Northern Lord, who, in his prime, could have probably kicked Dario's ass, who is now also turning into a lizard.
Yeah, that's spreading fast, man.
Have to deal with that really soon.
I mean, he is on borrowed time right now. Like he's really not going to last long, clearly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we know that this disease can be cured-ish, as in made not fatal, because Stannis' daughter was cured. I mean, she was permanently disfigured, but she was cured.
She was cured.
So, I mean, there is that possibility, but you're in the middle of the grasslands riding alone. You're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
And at what point does he become contagious?
Well, yeah, that's the scary part. Is like, does he know that? I mean,
like, I guess he wants his last act in the world if he thinks he's dying to save Daenerys.
Yeah, I guess that's it. But I feel like he's going to endanger someone else's. He could potentially endanger her life, rescuing her.
How does it? Yeah, it's like, how does it feel? That feeling must suck. wanting to be with someone who doesn't, loving someone who doesn't return the favor. It's like, yeah, it sucks. And even if, she does change her mind, she can't because I'm turning into a stone man.
Yeah, so it doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter. That's gonna go well. And speaking of Daenerys.
Well, I do want to say, they do know where she is. Like, they are
They have
gonna
figured out.
find her.
Yes, they have figured it out because they found her ring in the middle of the messiness that the Dothraki horde left. Because they are a horde. They leave tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hard to hide thousands of horses.
Yeah.
But she was picked up by a lovely man named Kal. I forgot his name already. Molo or Moko or something like that.
Call almost Jason Momoa.
Yes, call him not Jason Momoa. Which saddens me.
Yeah.
Call, who gets sarcastically spoken to by his wives and his bodyguards.
My God.
It's like, the best thing in the world is seeing a woman naked for the first time. It's like, nah, like cutting the head off one of your enemies, tracking down a wild horse and like taming it. Oh, doing this is like, all right, fine. Seeing a woman naked for the first time is one of the 5 best things in the world.
One of the 5 best things.
And everybody's just like, all right, shit, we can't argue that point.
So funny.
Like, boss has got it.
That was so funny.
And I love, like, they're guarding her while the whole horde is walking, talking about how, like, oh, we're going to strip her clothes off. We're going to do all this other stuff to her. Like, we're going to have a total bunch of fun. Maybe the call will let us have her. And I was like, she can understand you retards.
Yeah, I'm like, she knows what you're saying.
Like, she's good with languages. She knows at least 3, maybe more.
They didn't know who she was.
No, they didn't know, and neither did the call. Until she said so. And I'm thinking to myself, like, mention that you were Drogo's wife. Like, even though Drogo's dead, they're probably scared of his ghost rising up and strangling them in their sleep.
Right. And they have a basic respect for Akal, regardless.
Right, like, yeah, he's dead. He can't really do anything. He did raise a horde of 50,000 people, which is considerably big.
Yeah.
And he murdered pretty much anybody who got in his way. So, there's a little respect there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was the wife of Khal Drogo. Drogo's dead. It's like, I know, I burned his body. It's like, I am so sorry. Cuts her bonds, like, okay, cool, bring me back to Meereen and you can have 1,000 horses. No. Sorry, no. They take their traditions really seriously.
She's to be sent to a temple to mourn until she's not alive anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't sound like her scene, really.
No. I mean, apparently that's what happens. Akal's wife is killed, and Akal is killed, and his wife has to be taken back to the Holy City to be a crone or something like that.
Yeah, basically just to live the rest of her life waiting to die.
Mm-hmm.
Which, she's gonna need to find a way out of that.
Where's the dragon?
Yeah, he just, left.
It's like, shit, Mommy's in trouble. I'm gonna drop down here, burn all these infidels. Come on, Mommy, let's get out of here. And it's like, all right, Mommy, you're safe. I'm gonna leave you here in the middle of nowhere.
Bye!
It's like, bye. Bye. Whoosh.
I was like, all right, bye, man. And, what the fuck are Jorah and fucking... Wow, what's his name?
Dario
gonna do?
What are they gonna do against a horde of Dothraki?
Yeah.
They're both competent fighters. I'm sure they're, way more skilled than 95% of that horde. But there's a key noun in that. Horde.
In single combat, they can kick their asses, but...
But there are 2 of them, and there are probably 20,000 of them.
Right. And I don't know. I don't know what they're... I mean, what bargaining chips do they have even? Like, they there's nothing they can do. This is like tradition that they have to violate now.
Challenge the Call to single combat and hope he's not as badass as Drogo was. We already know like, Jorah was already better than Call's like than Drogo's top warrior.
This is true.
Because he cut that guy down. He kicked his ass.
Yeah, I mean, Jorah's no slouch.
No.
And neither is Daario.
So, I mean, that's one thing they can hope for. And then hope the Call doesn't tear... the Call. I keep saying the Call. The Horde is what I want. That's the word. And hope the Horde doesn't, like, rip them into tiny pieces in their struggle to take over.
I mean, I don't know. Could happen. But that's really the only way I mean, they're not going to pull off a stealth mission again. That's not happening.
No. There's too many eyes.
Yeah. It's the middle of the desert.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that they can do. I don't know. I guess I'll have to see.
Yeah, I'll have to see. Final part to mention of the episode, which we already brought up a little bit. I think... I'm not sure if we spoke about it or if it was in pre-show.
It was pre-show.
Melisandre, because I went through this whole episode like, okay, it's called The Red Woman. She was in a minute of this episode. What the hell? Well, we get more of it. As Davos says, like, they're coming in here, and they're going to kill us. There's still always the Red Lady. Yeah, what the hell is she going to do against 40 armed men? It's like, you haven't seen what she can do. Probably remembering her giving birth to a shadow demon in the middle of a canoe in a cave.
She birthed a horrible.
Mm-hmm. She birthed pure horror. And then we see her looking at herself in a mirror. And then she, it's like, I like, Clarice Van Houten's boobs as much as the next guy, but we see way too much of them in this show.
Yeah, they're old news.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, just takes everything off. Looking at it in the mirror, takes even the necklace off. I'm like, thinking to myself, okay, that necklace has protected you from poison. It is enchanted in some way. Why are you taking it off? I'm like, oh my god, she's going to burn herself. She's going to sacrifice herself to the fire. Like, all these things are going through my head. Like, what is she going to do? And then, like, it shows something in the mirror. Look, and I'm like, oh my god, what's looking at her in the mirror? Is that like a witch? Is that like the Night King looking through the mirror like he's fucking Sauron looking through the, the orb or whatever? And then it pans to her, and I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
Like visibly recoiling because it's like,
where did you go?
Naked Melisandre, and standing in her place is naked 100-year-old grandma.
Naked grandma, yeah.
Image in head.
Now we know that that's who she really is.
Mm.
The necklace is just like preserving her youth, or what have you,
Like, I don't know why she's having a crisis of faith, obviously, but she is one of the few people alive in this world who knows that magic is real, that, it isn't just a fairy tale, and she can actually use it.
Mm-hmm.
Why's that?
And I mean, obviously this whole thing was a crisis of faith, and that's, maybe her taking off the necklace is like kind of her like letting go for a minute to like reassess a little bit.
I actually saw a similar theory when I was setting up for this.
Like, this is her chance of like, okay, why don't we just take this out for a second? Let me just be me, the real me, and just sort of think.
It's like,
I guess.
Her whole religion has come back almost as lies to her or whatever. And now she's like realizes, oh, I'm a big walking lie. Let's just look myself in my real face for a second here.
Yeah.
Pop. Oh boy.
It was shocking. I mean, that was, I did not see that coming at all, but it gets, gets me, and I'm sure other people thinking like, could she just give Jon Snow the necklace? Like, what happens to him?
I mean,
come back?
If we remember back, I think season 2 or season 3, Thoros of Myr, another red priest, a disgraced red priest, one who doesn't even follow the order anymore. He was able to use his power and belief in the Lord of Light to resurrect a guy many times.
Yeah,
every time. A guy
very dead.
A guy who was very dead, missing an eyeball, missing part of his hand, has many holes in him, was split from the shoulder straight down to his belly button by the Hound. And he resurrected the guy.
Just zipped him back up.
So she's got to like regroup and like just pull it all together.
But it's an interesting thought that maybe if like the necklace thing is true and she gives it to him to resurrect Jon Snow, like it would be the first time maybe she's even sacrificing herself, for someone else instead of like asking other people for sacrifices.
Right. She gives a sacrifice then.
Right, and maybe that's been the problem with her prophecies all along, is that she was asking other people to sacrifice when it was supposed to be her to do it.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's like clearly she was missing something. Because she was very wrong about Stannis.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Was seemingly wrong about Jon Snow. But she could perhaps redeem that and prove herself right.
If she's seeing this in the flame, like, that's the thought, like, is she worshiping the right god? Is some other force giving her false visions?
Who knows?
She saw it in the flames, clear as day, as she said.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've spoken enough about this episode. But next episode is called Home. One thing about Game of Thrones synopses, they are very sparse on information, so this is what we get. Bran trains with the Three-Eyed Raven. That's it. In King's Landing, Jaime advises Tommen. That's it. It's like, how vague. Tyrion demands good news, but has to make his own. At Castle Black, the Night's Watch stands behind Thorne. Fuck them. Ramsay Bolton proposes a plan, and Balon Greyjoy entertains other proposals. Balon Greyjoy, a character we have not seen since his son's dick was mailed to him in a box.
Dick in a box?
I feel so weird saying that, but that is exactly what happened.
Yeah. Well, at least we get to see the other half of the cast we're missing.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit.
Well, actually, no mention of Littlefinger and his army.
Right, no mention of Littlefinger at all, so we don't know what his little plans are doing in there. He's got his little fingers and everything. Haha. And, we haven't had Bran for a whole season. So,
it'd be nice to get back to him.
I mean, the last we saw of Bran, some crazy woodland creature walks out of a cave and magic missiles a bunch of zombies to death.
Yeah. So maybe he's undergone some kind of training.
It's like
you've missed him.
Yeah, if you want some, oh shit, wake up, there's magic in the world, how about a wood nymph shooting frickin' bolts of energy at people?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, then.
Be good.
So that's our show.
That is our show.
John, find you, where can they?
They can find me at No More on Twitter.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at Philidrin, right there. You can find us all on Twitter. Also, Facebook, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You can follow us there for some more podcasts or some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. I've spoken a lot about this, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. My tongue doesn't want to work anymore. Thank you for watching. If you're watching live, we're going to be doing the Vampire Diaries right now. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.